Okay, so continuing where we left off, this video is about saving an object and saving the image. So these are two very important concepts to make life a little bit easier when you're doing a lot of work in R. So as we saw before, we've got a bunch of information here. We've got sequences, and matrices, and scalar values. First thing I'm going to do is ls the directory. So when you type in ls, what this does is it looks at everything that you've saved. Now, since we actually haven't done anything yet, it should be empty. So I'll type in ls, two soft brackets, nothing's there. So let's save an object. So let's say, for example, we want to use a sequence 1 through 5 multiple times, as we already did. So we can save a sequence in two forms. We can type in a variable name. Let's call it x, for example. It could be anything you want. The only restrictions are that the first letter is not a number, that there are no spaces, and that you don't use anything that's non-numeric or non-alphanumeric. So you can't have an @ sign or ampersand and so forth. You can have periods, a dash, or an underscore though. So we'll type in x. And to assign the value, you can do two combinations. So you can do the less than sign automatically followed by a minus sign. This is where spaces do become an issue, so you need to have both of them. And then you can type in the sequence. So let's say 1 through 5. Alternatively, you can do x is equal to it. I personally prefer the first one. Mainly because the equal sign is often involved in Boolean statements, but that's something for later on. So if we ls the directory again, we see x is there, and if you type in x and hit enter, you get your sequence of 1 through 5. So now we've saved an image. Now later on, when you're actually done doing whatever you are working on in R, you'll probably have a lot more objects there. So when you quit, you want to save those things. Obviously, you don't want to type them in over and over again. So if we hit quit, to quit you'll actually do Q and two soft brackets. You'll get the following message: save workspace image. If you say yes, it will save the image. If you say no, obviously it won't. If you hit cancel, it'll just go back to the way we were before. So let's hit save. Okay, so now R is closed off, and let's reload R. So for me, I can run it this way, but for you, you're going to have to double click it on the icon wherever it's located. So I'm going to load R, and just to make things a little easier to see, I'm going to increase the font size. So ignore this part here. Okay, so if you ls the directory now, X is there. Now, if by some chance it did not load the work from the previous session, you have to load it. So what you can do is you can type in load soft bracket and the following .rdata. If you do that, it'll load the previous work history. So hit that, loads it, and if by chance it wasn't there, you would get X and you're done.